Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to SciTrek, your
Hello.
sci-fi TV and movie channel. And welcome back to Stargate Outpost. We've got an interesting topic today. We definitely did not just start just a little bit slower than we typically would, because Sarah had not seen the Dune Part 3 trailer just yet. I would be remiss not to ask you real quickly. Well, should we do a little Project Hail Mary spoiler in here too? Is it a or is it a solid?
Project Hail Mary?
I guess I'm using the Project Hail Mary descriptor for Dune 3. Is it a thumbs up or is it just a no thumb?
Thumbs up.
Hell yeah. Honestly, it looks so good. Project Hail Mary. Also, if y'all have any theater within 100-mile radius of you,
Yes.
go see it this weekend.
Yeah, that's great. Really good.
I'm gonna have to see it again. I've not succinctly said it yet, but I think it might be one of my favorite films of all time. It was just.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things in there. But yeah, that's definitely in that circle of stuff that I'm going to remember and watch over again in the future.
Like, sure, there might be certain things I would add to it personally or anything like that, but there's not a single moment I would take away or cut out or edit or anything like that. The movie that we got, theatrical release, was just.
I think it's as good as you could do.
Yeah.
From the book. I mean, it's a very good adaptation from the book. I mean, it pretty much hits everything the book hits. I mean, some things are shortened or kind of done in exposition, but it's all there, you know.
There's two people that had read the book that went to go see it with us. And we ended up, I think, with 11 people total going to see the movie. And that was just so exciting as well. We were in the Chinese theater, like, where they premiere all the movies down there in Hollywood. We got like the middle seats in the back. It's cool. As perfect going to go see a movie as you can get. Yeah. And that was so much fun. But the two guys that were in our group that had read it, one read it like years ago when it came out, was just like, I'm ready. And his best friend's the one that read it just a couple days ago and just has been audiobooking the whole week kind of deal. They both were, I would look over, all of us are just hanging out in our seats, and the two people that had already read the book are on the edge of their seats, just in their chairs, just looking at the screen like that the whole time, even more excited than all of us that had never seen it before. I didn't know that I would be able to gush about Project Hail Mary the way we could.
Yeah.
It's
very good.
It lived up to every minutia of hype that was there.
Yeah, they did Rocky like perfectly, I think.
Just little rock guy. I knew there was gonna be a little alien guy, and I didn't know I was gonna like the alien guy so much.
Yeah,
he's so good. Jaffa Kree. So good. Well, speaking of Stargate, thank you, Matt, for transitioning us back into the topic of the day, which we do have an interesting one. And if you have time, come hang out. Oh yeah, we were talking about Project Hail Mary. We know you like to talk about Project Hail Mary too, good sir. Please don't spoil it. Go see it everywhere as fast as possible. You already know the thing, so I'm going to spoil the whole thing for you. I'm kidding, no. But it's so good. It's so good. So you had read the book, right? Had your husband as well?
Yeah, we both listened to the audiobook. Yeah.
Oh,
so
cool.
we both were very happy with how it turned out. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. For people that have read a book to actually come out as happy as they are, as y'all are, it's harder to get the book crowd a lot of time. I don't think this movie could lessen its ability to garner every crowd possible. It's just so freaking good. And that Dune 3 trailer it's now the thing I'm most looking forward to besides this movie. And I'm looking forward to seeing this one again already.
Yeah.
But it's so good. And we can go ahead and talk about it.
They do a great job with Rocky, just so you know. Like, that's pretty perfect.
Find the will and the way, good sir. So it's
Mhm.
easy and done, but if you can, it's so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Quite telling that the Oscars is the #1 topic. Well, not necessarily. It was 9 million people viewing wise, less than it was even last year, and that's not, or I think percentage or viewing, one or the other. But yeah, it's a little funky.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
We got an invite from Amazon for early. I don't know if they offered it to everybody, but Amazon Prime members, they offered it. I don't know if it was everyone that was a Prime member or just certain people. I don't know, but
it's
my husband
everyone
got
that was a Prime member.
Yeah. Okay.
And half our group did this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should even out the fact that you can do this or not. But if you're not a Prime member, just go to the individual movie theater's website, go to their show times, and just click on the show time and just buy the ticket from there, and you're fine.
Yeah.
Half of our group wasn't Prime people, but the other half of us were easy, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that's over now anyway, so whatever. Yeah.
It should, everything says the 20th. It should come out the day before. Thursday evening is when things come out, even if they say the Friday release or whatever. The preview night has now become the actual release day, so you can do it tomorrow. I think you said Saturday. Yeah, see you Saturday. Okay.
Yeah. Friday is the official whatever.
From never seeing it or reading it, Rocky was the most amazing thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot. Well,
yeah, so I'm not sure if it was just the algorithms picked special people or if it was,
yeah, I guess notifications are one thing, yada, 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 but it was available for all Prime members. I guess it's easier to seek out for some than others, especially in bigger cities. Right. Seattle, LA, we luck out, thankfully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get like everything. Yeah, we get the.
That is super cynical, Peter. No. We need a shared space for humanity left instead of people just going to the lowest common denominator 10 times out of 10 and literally wasting space on this planet. That is this beautiful, amazing thing. We need shared spaces for the sake of our species, for the sake of humanity. And the streaming stuff is the most disgusting thing that's ever happened to this planet in the modern age. It's literally changed the way our species has fundamentally sought shared spaces, not just movie theaters, not just TV and movies at home or anything like that, but fundamentally changed the way we seek or lack thereof shared spaces. And it's disgusting. And I could go ad nauseum about that too. But we're here to talk some Stargate today. And we've got a really fun topic. I don't know exactly where this is going to lead us, but I think it might lead us into some fun spots. There are 3 particular warriors. More than that. Oh, yeah, I can get passionate pretty too. No, because there was still 20 plus years of internet and shared spaces. And if anything, it brought those shared spaces into a larger forefront than they ever had been before. Maybe like on an individual level, not on the streaming television level. It is fundamentally
there's pros and cons. Put that way.
But
I don't think us isolating from each other is great.
No, it's scientifically not.
Yeah.
It's like factually proven that it is terrible for our species, and we are a social species. We're literally just adaptable bags of water and flesh, and we're supposed to adapt to each other in new environments. We're not supposed to just sit on a couch all day. There's a reason our obesity levels are where they are at now, and they shouldn't be. We should all be better than that. But anyway, that's also topics for other days. Today, we are talking about warriors, and each warrior that represents each series, of course. Teal'c of Chula, first prime of Apophis, and I'd say first prime of Earth, first prime of the Tauri, if anything. Ronan Dex, of course, and Ronald Greer, our folks, our people. Doomed. Doomsday later in the year too. But Where to begin? Where to begin? Where to begin? I think honestly, you brought up such a great point to start us off. If we want to start there,
Sure.
Our warriors,
Yeah,
are all great, confident people that bring a lot of humor to each respective series as well. Greer maybe a little bit more bluntly and dryly than the other two a lot of times.
right. Greer starts out a little rough and gets better later, but yeah.
Yeah, and the one common denominator that you pointed out before this stream is one that gives much more depth to what could just be a simple archetype character. And all three of these characters fit those general archetypes of the warrior with a little bit of comedy, and Stargate's so good at doing that with obviously Shepard, Jack. Daniel works into that. We have got a Braytac. We've got all these different examples throughout the shows. And it's a necessary archetype to have. And I'm glad Stargate never went the lazy way of just keep. They didn't keep it simple and make them stupid. They kept it simple, stupid by having good story to tell. And what was that common thread, if you don't mind?
Tragedy. They all have tragic histories. You know, bad things that happened to them before they joined up with Stargate. You know,
varying degrees.
Yeah, varying degrees for sure, in different ways. Like Teal'c, for instance, I mean, he was born basically as a slave to the Goa'uld, who were posing as gods, and of course, he started out as a true believer that, you know, that Apophis and everything, they were actually gods. Of course, Braytac dissuaded him of that belief. Thank goodness. But if you think about it, you know, I mean, Apophis was not a nice person, you know, or Goa'uld or whatever you want to say, I guess, whatever you call him. You know, I mean, if you think about the stuff that Teal'c would have done under Apothis's, you know, rule, like, you know, the people that he would have been forced to kill or whatever kind of horrible things he did in the name of like thinking he was serving his God. And then even worse, once he knew they weren't really gods, you know, still having to carry through with that as the first prime just to carry out the bigger picture of trying to take this whole system down.
Like 80 to 100 years of doing that.
Yeah, so think of like the horrible things he had to do knowing what he was doing, but having to keep the eye on the bigger picture of what they were trying to accomplish.
And part of that is just Jaffa culture. But they don't. I mean, the Jaffa quite legitimately don't know any better at that point, and the ones that do question tend to get slaughtered or have to do so from a point of power, like Braytac had done. You know, and it's interesting that Teal'c fights his whole life to be in this literally prime position. You know,
literally.
Teal'c's a war criminal. It's okay because he's awesome. Like, yeah, in a sense, but it does so in a as much as you feel for Vader by the end of that arc, you can start off feeling that way for Teal'c. Maybe because we know that type of archetype as well, but they play with that very well. And I mean, just the context that we get immediately of, okay, well, this guy's willing to question his leaders, which means he has been for a while. Obviously, as the show goes on, as SG-1 continues, we get Braytac and Teal'c flashbacks, discussions of them having old flashback discussions, and so on and so forth. We're not doing the right thing, but we have to continue to do it. Maybe not to the degree that Apophis is asking at times.
Right, but we have to try to subvert it as much as they can, but they still would have to maintain their position, because they're not going to be able to do anything if they aren't in those positions of power to do it.
Yeah, so, and while it might seem like he technically has the least amount of trauma, like we just said, the guy literally was for decades going around slaughtering, committing war crimes, and just doing things in the name of Apophis that he didn't believe in. It was pretty clear at a certain point there was no belief, or enough was known from him and Braytac about how the Goa'uld actually operate that they know they're not gods, But
Right.
there's that question of, well, what the hell are they if that's the case? Enough of a question that keeps them kind of like, well, maybe don't mess with the order of things because we don't know how to get out of this.
Right.
We know they're not gods. They can die. There are these different things that we've kind of discovered.
Yeah.
But there's that big asterisk that it's just impossible.
Right. Yeah. And I think they were actually recruiting other. There were other Jaffa that believed as they did, right? I mean, they kind of hinted at that if they and showed it obviously later on, but he kind of did, but when he was a true believer, even after, but it's kind of interesting. I don't know, do they ever really, I guess maybe in little ways, they show like, because Teal'c has to face that part of himself that he did all those bad things.
I think one of the best episodes they have for that, Melvin, if you want to talk some of this, I did just send you a little link. One of the best episodes I think they have that you get to see Teal'c both be the most numb version of himself there is back where he was first prime is that one episode where it's not Ball, it is Apophis, isn't it, that takes him back? Yeah, Apophis takes him back over,
brainwashed, and thinks he's like the first prime again and a true believer, and Braytek has to kind of bring him out of that.
Goes through the whole meditative process and all that almost kills him. I feel like it's such a pivotal moment in just the growth of the character. Not necessarily the growth of the character. It shows you where he has come in there. Melvin, good sir, how are you?
Feeling all right. I've been a bit down in the dumps the last few days, a bit ill. So,
sorry about that.
I'm feeling better.
Right, good. Yeah, we were discussing just how Teal'c, Ronan, and Greer all kind of have tragic histories.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Warriors
of
Stargate. Well, Sarah brought up a great point where the fact, like, okay, all these guys are comedic to a degree, sure, but they're also, your general warrior archetype, and they do fit these very generic builds of a character as well. But Stargate did a good thing of not just making them your super generic caricature of something where it's just fight, fight, fight. Also, I say funny things every now and then. They do, and a good character ought to have good backstory. Whether that backstory is tragic, happy, somewhere in between, has levels of all kinds of things. The one thing all three of these warriors have, though, is a tragic backstory in different ways, and it reads into the character, like Sarah was pointing out. Of all three of these guys aren't just your funny comic relief. They're not just there to fight things. They're there to get through the day as much as anybody else, and do so in a way that they know how. The way they know how is to be a warrior, is to kind of joke things off. And hey, they all have a shepherd or a I almost said Crichton. They also I almost said Browder now. Oh my God, Vin Browder, John Crichton,
Mitchell,
Dan Mitchell. Oh my God, that was going to kill me. Too much Farscape lately. We're at the end of it. And they have these other warrior people that are also comedy driven, but they're not as tragic most of the time. Cam's a little tragic, and of course Jack is as well. But they have this intelligence. They have a super leadership thing. They have these other kind of specific narratives that they follow, where these guys they're there to be your muscle, and not just be your muscle. They're probably there to pat you on the back at the end of the day too. Greer does so in an interesting way at times. But now I'm just screwing up names. Who's Greer's best friend in SGU? Isn't it James or something like that? No. James is the lady, Sergeant James.
The Colonel.
Matthew.
No, I'd say the Colonel, in my opinion, is his best friend in the universe.
Well, he totally becomes.
No. You think about it from the start. From the start, Colonel has been more of a friend to Greer than Scott. So the Colonel's been protecting him because really, truly,
Right.
with Greer's backstory,
Mhm.
technically with his mental health issues, because he has mental
Yeah.
health issues.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He wouldn't have remained in military service as a result of that. So the colonel was actually doing a lot to
No.
protect him.
That's
Yeah,
true as
they
well.
were getting ready to kick him out, I think, and then all this stuff happened, so he was forced to continue.
Well, that
and
was
work,
I think that was
you know,
all
but
to do with him striking a superior officer, though, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah. But I
Yeah.
think they kind of hint that he's kind of always sort of had these insubordination issues and stuff. But whatever this, he seemed to work through that because by the end,
Yeah.
he's like really a likable character,
I
But,
do feel
yeah.
like Young plays more of the beret
Mhm.
tack to his Teal, and
Yeah.
and Scott is more your Jack or your Shepherd or somebody in that
Mhm.
kind of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greer also has daddy issues. He's
Yeah,
that man's
we'll
got issues
we'll
every
get
day.
to that. We'll hit on each one.
Well, yeah, I
Dang.
mean,
Right.
Greer's.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think was it Greer's history where he was actually abused by his old man.
Yeah, I think his father.
um,
If we want to move on to Greer,
And
his
we can
father
kind of
had
back-
really bad PTSD, I think, and was an alcoholic and abusive. And didn't he try to burn down his house or kill his mom or something? I don't know, something horrible
with
happened.
Greer in it,
Fire
right?
and-
Didn't
yeah,
he tried to
Yeah.
he tried to kill all of them, all
At
of
the
them
same
on
time.
Right,
fire,
yeah.
didn't
yeah.
Yeah.
he? But,
Yeah. Mhm.
I think Greer's mother managed to escape the house with him,
Yeah,
didn't she?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember back. I haven't watched Universe in a
Mhm.
while, so
Yeah, I was trying to remember exactly what happened. I just remember there was a fire and that he was abusive, and his dad, I think, was
Mhm.
basically had serious mental health issues. And
Yeah.
was
Tried to. We can't technically
treating
say
it
it
with
on
alcohol.
YouTube, but tried to
Didn't.
commit a Mordor.
yeah, I can't remember
suicide.
what war. I can't remember
Mhm.
what war Greer's father fought in. Was it?
Was it
wasn't
I don't know if
Gulf,
it was
was
Vietnam. It seemed like that was a little late. Maybe I think it was Vietnam. Maybe I don't know.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you,
that's
No Go.
But
The
yeah,
house caught fire while Greer was dumped on the bad side of town and told to walk home.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
yeah,
I
he
must
just
be
got
thinking of a
really.
different show.
So
Yeah.
He was the
He-
one survivor of it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, his mom lived too. I think. Or something. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I mean, just horrible childhood.
Mhm.
So it's no wonder he had the issues that he did.
Yeah, and
Um,
as
In a way, you could argue that even though his father may have been abusive to him, he actually did him a favor by dumping him the other side of town.
oh, definitely. I mean,
Mhm.
that's one of the bits I think Greer has to grapple with, and we see him grappling with when we learn that backstory is
mhm.
his father might have been an awful person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he went back in
Mhm.
for that. But
Yeah,
he
I'm just-
Why would
he
he?
was
Yeah.
safe.
Mhm.
No, I think was it not in one of his flashbacks where he tried to go back for his father, but his mum held him back. Was that what happened?
Could be
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I'd have
hard
to
to
watch.
remember because some of the flashbacks are just they
right.
don't
Yeah.
register in my
Yeah.
be memorable to me.
Mhm.
Some characters,
Yeah.
but Greer. I mean, I
Mhm.
like Greer as a character,
Mhm.
but his backstory is like, well, we can see. I mean, I'd rather have had the mystery of Greer's backstory than actually seen it on screen.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that. It is
Mhm.
it is very tragic
Mhm.
and sad.
Mhm.
And there's plenty of that already happening in Stargate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He-
Exactly.
He was already
Yeah.
he was hurting enough, in my opinion, to have him go back and remember that stuff. It's just
Yeah,
Mhm.
it also informs why he's feeling the way he is, though. So I
Right.
don't feel like it's not
they didn't have to do
necessary.
it on screen though.
Yeah.
They
just
could have implied
sat-
more than they showed.
Yeah,
Right.
But I felt like that was those moments are when Greer
Mhm.
changes the character, and it allows
Right.
you to start.
Yeah. We
well,
understand.
Greer's character
him and-
changes because he
kinda-
ran out of medication, didn't he?
Yeah,
So his
his
character was going
barriers
to
start
change
falling.
anyway.
Yeah.
He goes crazy for a second, and then those barriers kind of start to fall as he realizes I have to deal with my own shit, essentially, or
Yeah.
I'm dead, and probably a lot of other people are going to die around me too. And
Yeah.
that's
So he.
where I think he has that warrior kind of
Mhm.
ability, just like a Teal'c or Ronan would, because he does it not for himself, but for the
Right.
greater good of the people around him. as
He
well.
he faces it and
It
moves
depends
forward.
on what type of warrior theory are you talking about when it comes to Teok and
Mhm.
their lives
It's
are
different.
different to anything that Greer or anyone like that would have, because a soldier isn't necessarily a warrior. A soldier is someone who chooses to put their life on the line to protect others, right?
Right.
A warrior doesn't do that. A warrior is different. Being a warrior is more of a way of life than a soldier is. Although a soldier is, you do have your way of life as a soldier.
Yes.
But it's not at the level of a warrior. A warrior is completely different.
No, but if we got a season 3 or 4 or 5 or wherever it could have gone or would have gone, Greer is a warrior. He might also be a soldier. But let's
put it this way: in modern terms, you'd probably say a soldier is a warrior. In modern terms, but in ancient terms, like you would with someone like, say, Teok, a warrior means something different.
Sure. Yeah. But would you not think that Greer would end up encapsulating that one way or another, especially being stranded in space?
I don't know because I don't see. I don't remember anything in universe that would actually make him seem like a warrior. A loyal soldier, yes. A defender, yes. But a warrior, not necessarily.
Well, he listens to orders, but he does things for the great good of the group. And I think that's where the warrior comes into place. Is after he grapples with all of that emotionality himself, he does change as a person. And I think becomes less of just, well, Young told me to do it, or Scott told me to do it, so I'm doing it. And it's much more...
Right. Well, he starts thinking more about what he's doing and why. And which I think in the situation that they're in allows more of that. Whereas like if they were in the, back home where it was really like they weren't in survival mode, it would be a different situation.
He might not rise to that warrior title the way he has out there. And like Stanley's eloquently said right here, you can't be courageous without being scared, conquering your own fears and demons. There is no greater test. And he passed that test with nobody expecting him to, and really everybody else on the ship kind of wanting him to kind of not make it in some ways, They're kind of like more problems than he is a beneficiary to the ship. They might not all outright state that, but you can see it on their faces.
Yeah, I mean, early on, that definitely was the case.
And instead of that, he comes out as not just a better person, but a better man and a warrior because of that. I think that's a testament to Ronald Greer and how cool of a character he definitely could have continued to become. I don't think he's necessarily as warrior driven as a Ronan or Teok.
Right.
But I think we were getting there. And I think by season 4, I think we would have all just been really excited every time he would have popped on screen, the same way a Dex or a Teok would be.
Yeah, I think so.
And we've kind of already talked about Teok and Greer's backstories.
Do you want me to hit on Ronan?
We all know about Satita.
Yes. I mean, he was a soldier in a war that his side lost. So there's just all the PTSD of all that, how hard the fighting must have been to just try to survive. And then he also watches his partner die in front of him while he's looking at her. She dies in like a ball of flame or something, or whatever it was, and then to top it all off, he gets tagged by the Wraith and forced to be a runner, where he has to live this very solitary life, because anytime he goes among people to try to hide, the Wraiths show up and innocent people die. So he feels guilty about that. And so he's got to isolate himself and just be alone. And as you see, he's just totally shut down and like, a couple steps above just an animal, which is what the Wraith wanted, because they're hunting him like that. But so I mean, he probably has like the worst backstory of all three of them.
Oh yeah,
I think.
I mean, you see it. He's on the verge of wanting to just take himself out a few different times, but
he
doesn't know the approach, doesn't know how he would has reasons to live, but also all kinds of things. Well, I think Sarah kind of said it really well at the beginning there. What did Ronan do before the war? I think he was a postman. I think he was just a soldier.
Yeah,
he was just a soldier. He was their equivalent of special forces, wasn't he? Because that's what we have in the flashbacks when got those other Cetans with him.
I think becoming a warrior probably happened through the Wraith chasing him like that, and him realizing, oh, I can't hide myself among your average Joe. I can't.
Well, if you're going to call him a warrior, he was a warrior before that. If you called him a warrior,
sure, he was
a well-trained, well-honed soldier before he became a runner. Sure. So I can imagine that he, if I remember rightly, wasn't he an instructor for the Cetan military as well?
He may have been. I don't remember.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure he was an instructor, if I'm remembering correctly, because it allowed him to spend more time with his partner, didn't it? Because he was at home more. He was a soldier before. He was a soldier probably most of his life, training and preparing to fight the Wraith. Because in the Pegasus Galaxy, that's what you would do. I mean, you know that there's a race out there that's that's hell bent on feeding off of you, and there's nothing you can do about it except for prepare. And maybe like other civilizations before that have been destroyed by the Wraith because they were fighting back, they wouldn't have known. So they didn't know how many Wraith there were. They just knew they were there, and that they had time for cullings. So their training regimen for their military would have been on par with like concentrated specialist rather than regular soldiers. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Greer, in comparison, is probably considered more of a regular. He's a Marine, isn't he? So he's just a regular grunt, in comparison to Ronan. If they ever had a matchup, if Ronan had a matchup with Greer, Greer would be on the floor in pain, right?
Oh,
because of the level of training.
Well, I mean, they're both legitimate aliens.
Well, look at Teal'c and Ronan. They hated each other when they met. You could see that they hated each other because they were warriors. Because, like you said, they were warriors in your words, and warriors want to test themselves. That's That's the major difference between a soldier and a warrior. A warrior strives to be tested. They want to give it their all, whereas a soldier doesn't necessarily do that.
Case, and nobody more testy than Mr. Greer.
Yeah,
he
was definitely headed that. He definitely was headed that direction. Yes. I think for sure. I don't know if he had got there, what we got to see, but I think he was headed that way.
I think he would have got there if we had a season 3. He might have got there.
Yeah.
Him and Dr. Parks,
he was fitting in. He was fitting in with the rest of the crew on Destiny.
He found love.
Yeah, and he was with Park, and he was actually, starting to develop healthy relationships and stuff. So that was good. Yeah.
Him and Scott kind of worked their friendship back into being into play rather than just. They're friends the entire first season, but it's very much. Well, we're also military people, and we got to do the military thing. We'll do the friend stuff later. And season 2 remembers that. Okay, we've got to do some work to get back to that, and they do the work that's necessary.
Yeah, I think so.
He's going to be a milkman warrior.
Arisbach Jr.
Sam Jones might be a little old. I got to be Arisbach the third at this point. Yeah. AB3, is that a thing?
I think at first he is, but I think by the end of the second season, he's more. I mean, I don't know if you would still put him as like the top tier character, but I think he fits what we're trying to do in this podcast.
Yeah. Also, I don't think he was ever a peripheral character necessarily. That would have been more Volker, Brody, even Dr. Park in season 1. I mean,
this is the thing. This is the thing about season 1. In season 1, any one of them could have gone. There was no. Oh yeah. There's no guarantee on any of them, remaining for a long period of time. But when season 2 came on, that's when the main characters kind of excelled, I suppose. It was like, I suppose you could say excel at their jobs. Yeah, like Young gets tested by the ship and fails repeatedly, that sort of thing. So you see your character growth actually starts. Maybe means
he shouldn't be in charge, but that's a different thing.
Oh, Young, yeah. Well, Young was flawed in a lot of ways. That's for sure.
I love Louis Ferreira.
Yeah.
I don't think I would rather hang out with Joffrey Baratheon in Game of Thrones than I would Colonel Young from SGU. Louis Ferreira did such a great job. I don't think I've ever disliked a character more than Colonel Young in SGU. I don't know why. I just would not want to spend more than 3 minutes with that guy if I didn't have to. Joffrey, I would at least sit back and be like, this dude's crazy. Popcorn.
Popcorn.
Not so much with Young.
His personal life was a mess. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess he was okay as a commander or whatever, but his personal life,
I think
obviously.
The problem with Young was that I don't think he had ever actually truly been tested in the role of a commander. I mean, he had achieved the rank of colonel, and I don't think he'd actually been on the front lines, had he?
No, because he was.
I think he was a desktop commander. Basically, he was behind the desk most of the time. If I'm remembering correctly, I don't think he actually took part in any frontline duties, which is probably why he had no confidence.
I think he had battle experience, but if either one of us might just be slightly misremembering, it's freaking SGU. Right. First season is a hard one to get through.
That's what I feel. That's how I felt when it came to Young. It's like he's a great character. He is flawed, but at the same time, he's never been tested in the role, so he must feel that he's never actually deserved the role. If that makes any sense. It's like when the ship started testing him,
he had been battle tested. It was just he had never had the command position, because didn't his commander that was supposed to be Robert Patrick? No, excuse me, that's SGA. But there wasn't there a commander that died on the
Icarus base
or got left behind on Icarus to make sure?
No, he was in charge of Icarus base, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Young was in charge of Icarus base.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
There was no one above.
O'Neill was over. Except for was it the governor or councillor? Who was it? Congressman.
Yes,
Chloe's
somebody.
When Chloe's dad went there, he would have essentially been the highest ranking person there, but he wouldn't have had any power over the military. So,
right.
So technically,
he was on the committee that, like, I don't know, like, funded it or whatever.
He was essentially on the the fund side of it, but he was there. He was only there because he threatened to pull the budget, right, in the first place, because he wanted to see where the money was going.
He wanted to see, he wanted to see what was going on, and ended up getting all sucked into it too. But
I guess I never thought of him as like a desktop warrior kind of deal, you know, like the guy behind the keyboard. Really,
he basically. All I mean by that is he commanded from behind the desk.
Of course,
he has no command experience on the ground.
He was like a career soldier. Like, it's what he chose as, you know.
Yeah,
and obviously he must have had a certain level of competence that they picked him to be the leader of a top secret.
He probably moved up the ranks quite easily. Because I think he's astute.
Yeah.
But you combine that with a lack of testing. You know, he had not being tested in his job, as well as his personal life. Because obviously he is having issues with his wife and stuff like that. So but
and his, like, former side piece is pregnant with his kid,
and she's in the middle of space on the same ship. His wife is not. I don't know.
So I mean, I don't know anyone that wouldn't break as a result of something like that. I mean, you've been torn away from your reality, exactly, technically.
It's interesting that we start off after he's already broken, because it is clear this guy is broken by the time we meet him.
I mean,
actually, I felt when I first met him, when I first met him on screen, I thought he's a little bit arrogant.
Oh, when he gets knocked out in that first episode and Matthew Scott has to do everything for him, I'm like, this is my favorite episode of season 1. Just keep him on the damn floor. Like, I'm done with him. Because he's and it's to Louis Ferreira's ability to act, but and that's why I think I would prefer to hang out with Joffrey Baratheon over Colonel Young. Is every minute moment you spend with Young is great, just grating. There's not like, oh, that was kind of funny, or oh, you're kind of a dick, or oh, I see why you did this, or it's just it is grating every single second. There's not a moment where you're like, oh, you know what, that was a good decision, man.
Yeah, there's that moment, like, I forget where he spirals into depression and he's just like drunk all the time and super depressed, and Scott basically has to like straighten him out to get him to, but he was better, I think, a little bit after that. But yeah, so I mean, he kind of
I wish season 3 happened, because I really think Scott would have ended up in charge by the end of season 3. And Young ends up, well, it's either it's Scott being technically in charge. Russian Young would probably end up still being not Russian Young. Russian Eli would probably be the more true leaders behind the thing. But Scott and Camille Ray, Ming Na Wen's character.
Yeah.
They would have still been your where they might have actually truly been leading what's happening, because the scientists are going to be leading what's actually happening most of the time in these type of shows. They would have been your figureheads per se. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and we saw when we see that the alternate group, grow and develop, we see those are the people that are in charge of like the government and things like that.
And it makes sense. They lead us there throughout just the 2 seasons that we do have. And honestly, they're a good chunk of them fit a warrior type of description. I feel like obviously these are 3 head honchos for each show, but within each show, there is more. And hey, to kind of maybe roll back to SGA a little bit, somebody that we haven't talked about, that was kind of one of the ideas for this to discuss whenever we were talking about this last week as a topic. The character that was supposed to be the warrior for SGA prior to Ronan Dex, Ford.
Yeah, Ford.
Ford was the archetype of the warrior in that season 1 and a little bit of season 2.
Yeah, I mean, he gets that group of other,
and it obviously doesn't work the same way.
Yeah. Well, because he's mentally a little after,
they started off with a tragic backstory for him. He's got all the right archetypes that are in this type of Stargate character. And it doesn't really go anywhere. And in the not going anywhere, they end up finding arguably the best warrior of them all. I mean, Teal'c is probably the best warrior of them all. He's got the time and effort and ability over everybody else. But I mean, if we're talking popularity-wise, Ronan Dex.
Oh yeah,
he's right. So I guess, how do they screw up Ford so much? Not necessarily screw up Ford. How does? I mean, the character gets kind of screwed up throughout the season.
Yeah, he does. I mean,
but I guess the question I'm asking is, what we get from Ford to Ronan Dex? How does SGA, while season 1 is still a great show, find that character type whenever it seemingly could have been just as good by dropping it after the first season? Do we have any thoughts?
I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. I'm sorry.
Just how did we get to Teal'c? I mean, excuse me. How did we get to Ronan from Ford?
Yeah.
And why does Ford not last as that warrior archetype for them?
Right. I don't know. Maybe he just.
Chat. This is an open-ended.
Seems a little bland. I mean, he gets spicier later on. After he gets treated with the wraith, whatever it is that he gets.
The Eratus bug and everything.
Right. Yeah, and then he finds those other guys that also too, and starts his own little. I think the episode is Lost Boys, isn't it? Like
I think so. Yeah, I was like, Band of Brothers? No, something different. That's it.
You know, he's just so trying to prove to them, look, because remember he drugs them all with that same stuff, like without telling them, and is like, see, this is better. You know, he's so like trying to prove like
except for McKay,
right better. Except for it makes you kind of crazy.
He didn't dose McKay, and I don't think he dosed Shepard.
Okay.
Well, because he tried to dose Shepard, and Shepard.
Because he needed Shepard to fly the dart, which is why he didn't drug him. And I don't think he didn't dose McKay, did he?
I don't think so.
Because I think that
he did, like, the joke or something.
I think because I think he let him believe that he was dosed, but he was never dosed. Because the way McKay started acting, it was like
I think he was
a bit more confident, wasn't he? McKay became more confident at that moment when he thought that the drug was taking effect.
We'll never say that Aiden Ford was not a scientist, because he did leave what's it called? Not a. God, I'm blanking on everything today. A variable that. Whatever I'm trying to say. Whatever.
Yes, Stanley. I know he did take a larger dose, but that was later on, wasn't it? That was towards the end. He wasn't. I don't remember him being dosed before that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be watching SGA again here, so.
Yep. Yeah, it's just interesting that Ford is, like you said, just bland. I don't know a better word to describe it.
Well, isn't that why the writers replaced him? Because he was literally, it was the writers and the producers that felt that the character wasn't working, essentially.
Yeah.
Well,
in my opinion, I think they were right. But I don't know. I don't think they knew what to do with Ford.
No.
It very much felt like that
from the start, because I don't think they spent that much time deciding on what the character was going to be.
No, right. I actually think Greer gets more personality in one season than Ford ever got.
Oh yeah,
Greer gets more personality in one episode than Ford did in the entire season. Although Ford did have more personality in the first season, because he was more upfront, more front and center. But at the same time, he wasn't a big, strong warrior type like Teal'c, and I have a feeling that that's the dynamic that they misplaced when they started the series, when they started writing it, because they just they ignored the fact that the team needs someone strong. And they need someone that's a warrior. So they end up replacing with Ronan Dax, who is very similar in a way to Teal'c, except he doesn't have the history with the gods, so to speak.
Right.
I think the idea behind that was, well, we've got Tayla, and Tayla's a warrior. Like, clearly she's a warrior. But she's less Teal'c, more Daniel Jackson in the way she approaches things, because she's your like liaison to everybody in this galaxy in a lot of ways.
She's kind of their liaison. That's exactly what she is. Yeah.
And I kind of feel like the writers were, all right, well, we have Ford and Tayla. Neither one of them needs to go full warrior. And where they gave Tayla naturally had the ability. She's the member of the SGA team that we follow. From the Pegasus Galaxy. That's a pretty easy position to end up being that liaison, and she's obviously the leader of her people. Saved her people by joining the Tauri, kind of like Teal'c did in a lot of ways. She is almost a 1-for-1, closer to that archetype of warrior. But the lack of comedy doesn't necessarily fit that same way, where Ford is kind of pigeonholed where they want him to be in that.
Well, no, I'd say Tayla was the spiritual part of it.
Definitely. That's why I feel like spiritual. It's Daniel.
But Daniel was literally an ancient, so that was the spiritual for him. First one.
But he lit a candle with his mind, didn't he?
Well, technically, no, he didn't.
I thought he said he did it at the end there, right before they left.
No.
Anyway.
No.
Okay.
No.
He was trying.
Rightly. He was trying to, but is it Omar?
Yeah.
It was Omar, wasn't it? That was at the sanctuary.
Yeah. I don't think we knew.
Omar was messing around with him the whole time. We know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Daniel's just Omar Desalla's little human play thing. Like, come on, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, do I bring him to the fold or not? Do I? Actually, yes.
Well, actually, that episode, the Sanctuary episode, is probably the episode where he first gets her attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the first time we see that character. We don't even know it's her. She doesn't even have a name at that point.
He's drawn to that planet, though, right? So I don't know if it's the first time that he gets.
Well, she's drawn to that planet by the Horsesis.
Yeah.
The baby draws him there.
Okay,
that's right. We know the baby is the Horsesis, which means that she,
right.
It's very enlightened, very intelligent. So
they were trying to find him because Shari wanted Daniel to find him or whatever, and they wanted him because they wanted the knowledge because he had all the knowledge of the Goa'uld or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why he was drawn there because and Omar wanted him to know that the child was safe.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably used the Horsesis to mentally send Daniel the message. She probably didn't know who Daniel was up to that point. And then when he arrives, he meets.
Well, she is an ancient that kind of is all-knowing, all-encompassing, all-spanning as well.
Yeah, but
maybe it's just the first time she's making herself.
How many people are in the galaxy? How many people are there in the galaxy?
203.
That they honestly, you honestly believe that enlightened beings would even? We know that they don't care about us in the universe.
Well, she does, but most of the ancients don't. Yeah.
Most
won't, and shouldn't necessarily, but also
up to that point, Omar's job up to that point, Omar Desalla's job up to that point was to help people become enlightened, to help them ascend. So her job wouldn't involve keeping an eye on everyone. Only people.
Well, the second she becomes aware of the Horsesis, you would think an ancient would ask around or have the understanding of where that Horsesis child came from, especially if they have the ability to see and understand everything around.
Well, she would understand like Daniel.
We know in later seasons that as soon as someone is born in the universe, the ancients know everything about them. We heard them say that in.
Yeah, so if that's the case, they would be at least monitoring Daniel. They obviously monitor Daniel throughout
season 9.
Yeah,
I think it's season 9 when the Supergate's made, isn't it? As soon as it's when Adria's born, as when they pass through the gate, and then Adria's born, and that's when was it Morgan Le Fay? Said that she learned and she knows everything about her. Sort of in. What episode was it? It was the movie, wasn't it? Arc of Truth, I think it was, where they face off in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a way of sensing people that are important. By their energy or something. Yeah.
I don't think it works. What doesn't work? I guess.
Examining the writer's choices.
Oh, we're digging too deep. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to dig super deep and go crazy.
An hour and a half deep dive.
I mean, just think about it this way. I mean, what the writers and producers' choices are what make or break a character, TV, or a show.
Right.
Yeah.
Full stop. We see it with Star Trek with Kurtzman.
Yeah.
Did Kurtzman make or break Star Trek?
It seems like
completely blew it to pieces, in my opinion. But there you go. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Something that might be
it just shows you how good the writers are.
Someone mentioned it in the chat earlier. Someone mentioned Kurtzman in the chat. That's the only reason why
Now I was about to say that might be a shared opinion there. With plenty of people, it seems like nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Ford was a kid with little no experience, so really couldn't add anything, particularly when Shepard is the one asking questions for the audience.
Yeah.
I don't think
he was a Marine though. He was a Marine. Just remember that. He wasn't Air Force, he was a Marine.
Right.
Difference. His training's
Definitely.
at a different level. Shepard was special for US Air Force Special Operations, Special Forces.
Yes.
So
also,
it was former Special Forces until he was sent to the Antarctic.
After the dynamics are there and things are happening, Ford is really just there not to question Shepard's orders, but to say, well, is that a good idea? And then Shepard goes, yep. And Ford's like, all right. And I don't think there's much.
Yeah, he never really was confrontational until, later on, of course. But I mean, in that first season.
And do y'all think he becomes a warrior in his own right? Not necessarily a warrior that fights for good or anything or for the home team even. But is he a warrior in his own self-serving sense by the time we leave him, essentially?
I think he thinks he is. I don't know. I just think he's a bit of that, but he's a little bit delusional. I think, he's trying to prove himself.
But I guess what I'm trying to ask is
really see it.
Ford and Greer both kind of start off more as the soldier rather than the warrior, like Melvin was.
Well, why is that? That's because they're both Marines. Marines behave in a specific way.
Yeah, but Greer at least,
believe me, I know,
finds it through turmoil. Ford doesn't necessarily find it through turmoil until he brings that turmoil on himself,
That's why I find it funny in Stargate that you never see actually any fights in bars between the Air Force and the US Marines. You don't see it. I always thought that was funny. I thought, the only conflict you see in a bar is SG-1 with the bracelets on beating up locals.
Yeah, that was a wild episode. Anyway.
That was.
Anyway.
Yeah. I just don't think Ford was able to be set up as a warrior, especially with Taylor naturally embodying a warrior, and your philosopher, and your kind of like.
Right. I wonder if initially they wanted Taylor to kind of be that character, but they just realized that wouldn't really work. They need her to, she was a badass in her own right for sure.
Yep.
But, they needed her to be more that liaison, that ambassador or whatever, the leader of her people that could kick ass when she needed to. But Ford, I just felt like Ford wasn't very well developed as a character. You just didn't really care that much about him. I mean, he became more interesting after, he got treated with the Wraith stuff or whatever. But, yeah, you just I don't know. It just didn't ever really totally click with me, his character, even after he went kind of crazy and stuff. Yeah.
It started to be more interesting and started to click with me more after he did go a little cuckoo, but beforehand,
a little.
A lot of, but yeah,
it'd be nice to have that. It would be nice to have a clip from First Contact with Worf saying "little." Every time someone says that, there's a little. Nice little ship, little.
This is true as well.
It's no bigger or smaller than a bird of prey.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Defiant is not really much bigger or smaller than a bird of prey. So,
yeah. Well, yeah. Taylor at least ends up just being that beautiful blend of Sam and Daniel in a lot of ways, and Sam, is easy to forget sometimes, but she's badass, and there's a reason that Jack is trying to put on a big show and show people all these Jaffa that these weapons maybe not be the ones you want to be using. Who does he use? He says, "Hey Sam, can you shoot that one wire down all the way over there? And also before you do that, do some cool badass stuff."
Well, essentially, what they do. Essentially, I know what they were doing there, right? They were essentially using what the Jaffa was saying. A woman, basically.
Exactly.
At the feminist side of it, the feminism side of it of SG-1, because SG-1 did have quite a bit of feminism. We see it in the first episode You know,
Right. Mm-hmm.
just because my reproductive organs are on the inside, on the outside, blah 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 blah.
That was cringy.
And then the horse lord guy or whatever, not a horse lord, but you know what I mean, like the Mongolian episode.
Emancipation, worst episode of all of it.
That's like 3 episodes after that, isn't it? It's like 3 episodes in or something, if I remember.
Yes.
Right. It's pretty early.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they
that's
did try to redeem it, but
they did.
Yeah,
they did, but
that's why he wanted Sam to prove it, to show. Look, the staff weapon is a weapon of terror. It's meant to terrorize, blah blah blah. This is a weapon of war. You know, even someone. So you don't need the strength of a warrior to use it. So get Sam to do it because she is in Jafar's eyes, the weakest of the team, right? But not little they know it's actually Daniel that's probably the weakest of the team. He can barely hold a gun.
It's about 3 minutes later, they're like, "Oh, she's scary." It's good. It works.
Yeah.
And then what do we see episodes later? We see Jafar running around with two P90s in there, you know, shooting with each hand.
It's so cool.
What's wrong with it?
So cool. With his guns out, literally. Okay.
You know
the
what?
only way that it works is because Teal'c's macro guns are as big as they are to hold those things out there like that.
I know.
I actually prefer Teal'c later on. I actually prefer Teal'c later on. I think it's when Mitchell takes over, I think it is. That's when he starts. That's when he puts the staff weapon to the side and picks up that sword, isn't it? The mini-me.
It's so cool.
It's like a big shotgun. Yeah, that's better than the staff.
Well,
a mini-me, that's even better.
Hey, T'Pol and her Jafar women prove women
I was just saying they have that whole. There's, they have. The female Jafar aren't just there to look pretty. They can do it too.
Yeah. Talking about some Amazonian warriors.
Right? T'Pol is a Vulcan. T'Pol is a Vulcan, so she's stronger than a human anyway. And the Jafar women, well, it's a different life for them, so they are going to grow up stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in their genes. They're still Jafar, right? They're not warriors necessarily. Some are, but they're not necessarily warriors because even among the Jafar women are still considered weaker. Yeah.
Well,
you can't argue they're not.
While we're probably have
they know how to fight too. Is all I was saying.
Yeah, they know. A lot of them know how to fight. Not all of them. I mean, they're not all trained. I mean, I can imagine that that Teal'c's wife is only able to fight because she's of his position, rather than hers.
Yeah,
and it's not like she's really willing or ready to fight. Most of the time we see
If you think back to the ancient times, think back to ancient Greece with Spartans, right? Let's think back to the ancient Greece with Spartans. The women could fight. Why could the women fight? To defend their home whilst their men are at war. Plain and simple. Nothing saying that a woman can't fight. It's just, do you want them to fight on the front line, or would it be better for them to stay home and fight to protect the kids and home? I think I'd rather them stay home and protect the kids and the towns, to be honest, if they can.
Yeah. I think there was some of both.
Yeah.
Say that again, sorry.
I think there was some of both. Those.
That's what I was about to say. Is just like I think that we typically see that happening, but then there is that Amazonian warrior sect of Jafar, and that's a whole animal.
Yeah.
Well, that's different because didn't they serve a female god at some point? That's why the Amazons were created.
It wasn't near to your god, that right?
No, I think it was near.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just because they're the same actor doesn't mean that it's you've got to separate the characters as well.
Yeah.
The full name is just Ishtar T'Pol, or T'Pol Ishtar.
Exactly.
One or the other.
It's Ishtar, not Easter. Ishtar.
Yeah, whatever.
Her middle name's Ishtar. Duh.
Right.
No.
And her and Teal'c kind of work together for.
They do. They become a couple.
Yeah. Then she kind of disappears and whatever.
They imply that she's still around.
Disappear.
Yeah.
I don't think she disappeared. Didn't they? Didn't she? Didn't they kill her off screen?
They kind of leaned into them having a relationship for a while, and then that seemed to kind of.
I'm pretty sure that it's mentioned on screen that she died. I'm pretty sure it's mentioned on screen.
Okay.
No, I've got to say, Ishtar does not die in Stargate SG-1. she almost dies, I think, twice. But she does not die because they at least because they don't bring her back at a certain point.
She gets mentioned, but yeah.
I think in the last episode they even mentioned that she's alive and that Teal'c is going to go see her or do something like that as well.
It might not be a vague mention then.
Yes, it's a vague mention.
Yeah.
But I just remember, that because I was like, come on, Teal'c, go for it, man. Like, you've been through too much. You just got through 50 years of being stuck on a ship.
Yep.
Find Paul. Find Ishtar.
I would have thought it would have been beneficial for someone like Ishtar to join one of the teams on SG1, on SG, from the Stargate Command.
Yeah, it would have been.
Join one of the other teams. I reckon that it would have been something better if they incorporated Jafar into the SGC more than just Teal'c. Because the benefits of having a Jafar warrior on the team, regardless of gender, was, it'd be beneficial.
I think the Jaffa wanted their independence, though, because they were so subservient to the Goa'uld for so long. I think they just
I can't imagine that they wouldn't be willing
under anyone else's power.
Yeah. I can't imagine that they'd be willing to refuse an opportunity to fight on, by our sides, by the sides of the teams that helped liberate them. I reckon there would be hundreds.
Yeah, but there is a difference between fighting by one side and joining the other's team. And Teal'c toes that line, and so did Braytak toes that line. Teal'c is succinctly fighting for the Tauri. He's not fighting. He might be fighting for the Jaffa at large, but he's fighting for the Tauri, not with the Tauri. He might be fighting both at the same time, like with alongside, but he is succinctly fighting for. Where Braytak fights with the Tauri more than he fights for the Tauri, and I feel like Ishtar would be as much fun as it would be to have her on a team or something like that. I think a lot of the Jaffa, like y'all were just saying, are at this point where they want to be this.
Well, Braytak was like
species for themselves.
Well, Braytak was basically like Sam's mum, Sam's dad, right? A liaison between the Jaffa and SGC.
Yeah,
that's what he became. That's what Braytak became, and they would work alongside each other. Like, so I mean, I still don't see why. If a Jaffa wanted to, they could volunteer to join one of the teams. I don't see why not.
Well, sure, but also Ishtar was a high priestess, and also I think maybe even a first prime. She wasn't a first prime because she didn't have the gold forehead, but she was at least a high priestess. And at that point, kind of like Teal'c is he is where he's fighting for the Tauri at this point. He is also still representative of the Jaffa to the Tauri and to humanity, I guess.
Him and Braytak kind of being that.
Yeah, they didn't need another full-time ambassador necessarily,
But after the Goa'uld were defeated,
the what?
After the Goa'uld defeated, when Jaffa are free, I don't see why not.
Arguably more so.
Some of them might be
establish themselves and put the people that they have that are leaders in their communities. As leaders
that's what I don't understand. This is why I don't understand what happened. So after the Goa'uld were defeated, before when the Ori came along, I thought to myself that after what happened, I would have thought that the relationship between Earth and the Jaffa would have been a hell of a lot stronger. Considering how hard Earth fought to bring them their freedom.
Well, I think maybe they have that fear of being controlled again, so they want to be fiercely independent.
One of the things I've been considering. Yeah. One of the things that I've been considering is maybe some of the officials on Earth offered to send representatives to teach them how to be free. I think I could imagine that being a point where they would say, "No, we don't want that," because they're too proud. They would want to learn. They would want to do it themselves. So they wouldn't want someone from Earth to come along and show them how we do it.
Well, they might not depict that in the show, but
well, I mean, it doesn't work in real life. It doesn't work in the Middle East, does it? I mean, we come along, we fix, we do stuff, and we leave, and what happens? It just happens. Everything starts happening again. So,
yeah, and they show to some degree their struggles in trying to establish the government, and the Ori try to,
particularly take advantage.
Look what the Ori do. Look what the Ori do. They literally replace the Goa'uld.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not in theory.
Yeah. I mean,
reality.
the one guy, head of the Jaffa, I forget the guy's name. He became a believer in the Ori stuff, and then they had to dissuade him from that.
But did he become a true believer, or did they force it on him?
Right. That's a little bit unclear, I think.
They forced it on him. Because I feel like the whole point, the whole bit leading up to the part where he walks into the fire and then walks out again, where he becomes a prior, I keep thinking to myself, he looks like he is kind of confused. He's not sure what to do. He doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
But he believes in a lot of stuff that's in the book. Just like you would believe whatever's in a Bible or whatever. You look at it and if you want to be, if you want to believe in something, you will believe in what you see.
Yeah. He does become a friar, right? Yeah.
Yeah. By the time he does,
he's not at first, but then he does. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's pretty succinct what he believes, but there is all of it. It takes him a while to get to that point, and then he totally just goes off the deep end.
Yeah, but it's basically the Ori taking the easy route by indoctrinating one person.
Right.
So, think about it. It's the whole reason Adria was born in the first place. Is to come into the Milky Way and convert people. So, and we know that Adria can make a prior. Because didn't she?
I don't think
she did that with Daniel, but Daniel resisted it because he had Merlin's in his brain or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think the Ori ever at least sent. They obviously have a bunch of soldiers, but I don't know if we ever saw like some. Toman was the closest thing we ever saw to a warrior coming from the Ori. I think Adria's technically their kind of warrior in a sense, but not really. Like,
I think
Adria is a spiritual leader,
right? I think they were kind of depending a lot on their powers and stuff, right? Like,
well, think about it this way: the Ori army are the Christian soldiers on a crusade. It's literally what they are. They're the Christianity on a crusade. Not necessarily trained soldiers, but they are trained to fight in a way. But they're meant to overwhelm with numbers because they have the numbers. I reckon that they would have more numbers than the Jaffa as a result of
from what we see, it
being
seems
isolated.
I mean, well, the followers, whatever soldiers they had that were followers.
And needing super gates to get your ships through places.
That
alludes to, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Well, looking size comparison between the Ori ships and the Goa'uld mothership.
Right.
No, it's insane.
Yeah.
And even an Aurora class, because wasn't there an Aurora class at the back of the gate, and it literally got destroyed by the Ori in one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little screwy.
I'm sure that there was an ancient ship there, right? If I remember rightly.
It wasn't one of the Alteran ships they had, right? I mean, obviously, Alteran is ancient ship, but it's one of those.
That was in the Pegasus Galaxy, though, wasn't it?
Well, okay. If we have about 15, 20 minutes before we decide to pop on out of here, let's jump back into the warrior aspect of this discussion.
We stayed fairly close to that path.
We did, and we try to kind of keep it around. But let's jump back into just to finish out a decent idea for each show. Because, hey, with Teal'c, yes, he is the warrior of SG-1. But you also have Sam. You also have Jack. You also have Cam later. You got Braytac.
Yeah. And doesn't Teal'c say Daniel is the greatest warrior he's ever known when in Meridian?
And you've got Dr. Danny J.
Yep.
With Ronan. Obviously, you have 4 before him. Taylor and Shepard are right there. And McKay's the greatest warrior we've ever known against maybe Linens.
Yeah.
Not that one.
I know you're.
There are. Well, we have Todd and stuff like that. You know, there are multitudes of references to compare Ronan's warrior-esqueness to. And with Greer, obviously, half the people on the ship are military. His best buddy, Matt, over here is military. His leader is military. Sergeant James over here, there's a bunch of military people there. Every single one of them has the potential, at least, to fulfill the warrior stance. And even though Young and Scott are different age levels of, well, the leadership role is here and the assistant leadership role is here. Either one of them could have become a warrior or embodied the warrior type more as that leader to kind of push that archetype in the show. Nonetheless, they chose Greer. Why do each one of our main warriors for each one of these shows end up the main warrior? Because, hey, like we just said, Jack, Cam, and Sam, that's an interesting Jack, Cam, and Sam. That's fun alliteration there. The 3 of them can fight with the best of them any day of the week. Yeah. By the end, like Teal says, I mean, Daniel's been fighting alongside.
Well, think about it this way. You think about it this way. Teal'c would wipe the floor with all of them, except but I'm not including Ronan. But I'm talking about SG1 as a whole. In SG1, so Teal'c would wipe the floor with everyone on base, right? In one-on-one.
Yeah.
The only way to defeat Teal'c would be overwhelming force.
Yeah.
So when you think of it, when you look at it that way, Cam gets to a point where he may actually be able to beat Teal'c, but only when he's trained by other Jaffa.
Yeah, because he goes through that training when they're on.
Yeah, but so he's gone through a different level of training than Teal'c. So that's why, Cam or Mitchell can actually lay a hit on Teal'c. How many times did O'Neill try and hit Teal'c? Even if
did
they
he
were
ever?
Just boxing, the only time was when he had that thing on had the bracelet.
Yeah, I don't. Yes, but I don't think that's the question at hand. It's why is Teal'c, why is Ronan Dex, and why is Ronald Greer the warrior for the show? Obviously, there are other people in the show that can do cool stuff. What makes them that overarching archetype and that pivotal part of each show in that sense? Over, say, because like you just said, Cam's awesome, badass, and eventually gets up to a point of being able to fight Teal'c. But through Teal'c's training.
No.
Yeah.
He
part of
only
it's
becomes
their
badass after that training.
Sure. Yeah. That's semantics at this point. But to figure out the actuality of why Teal'c is heralded as the warrior of the show. Why is it not Braytak? Teal'c learned everything he knows from Braytak. Why would it not be Braytak?
Because it's in the script.
Yeah. Braytak's more of the fatherly, he's the one that I was the warrior and now I have passed the mantle on to
Braytak
you.
Braytak is the one to look up to for Teal'c specifically.
The mentor.
He looks up to the mentor and his history. Teal'c knows all about Braytak's history. They would have talked about it as he was training. But Teal'c, he's always had that one thing that he wanted to do his entire life that drove him. And that was to avenge the murder of his father by killing Cronus.
And free the Jaffa to a certain degree too.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. So this is the thing about being a warrior or being a soldier. I mean, a warrior is driven to do something. He's driven by something. A soldier is not.
Right. Yeah, his mission was, like you're saying, his father and the Jaffa.
Well, and at a certain point, it's the reason
freeing the Jaffa was essentially secondary. The freeing Jaffa was secondary to that.
Right.
I mean, the whole thing.
Well, that's what him and Braytak were trying to do together.
Well, technically, everything Teal'c does is a means to an end for one thing: justice. That's literally all Teal'c is doing. And I think there's nothing more warrior-driven and focused than justice. It's a very simple concept. And hey, you know, if it's my favorite rule, keep it simple, stupid. So it's perfect.
Well, look at the struggles Teal'c goes through. He breaks his back. The symbiote can't help him because the symbiote was hurt. So he had to work. So isn't that when he started taking Tritonin as well? When he broke his back?
Well, I mean, and to go off of that, he starts taking Tritonin and is literally willing to use himself as an experiment. Of course, he needs to survive.
But he also there's a mental aspect to it because he believed he was weaker as a result of not having the symbiote, which is what has been driven into the Jafar people.
Right.
Because that whole time when
I mean, not to mention the sacrifice of his family. I mean, he left his wife.
When Braytak and his son are captured and they're mining at Naquadah, that fight between that first Prime and Teal'c believed he was weak. Literally, he didn't know he was fighting to protect his son, and then when his son was there, that's when it switched. He needed to think. His mindset switched to, I need to prove to my son that I am still strong, not to myself. It's because his son was there.
Yeah.
So it's the drive that is the major difference.
Agreed. And I think that sense of justice is what truly makes Teal'c stand above the others. Where
that's Ronan's drive as well. Revenge on the Wraith for destroying his world, his partner, his everything. You know,
it's justice.
The runner thing, making him a runner, all that.
Yeah. Where others have
it's a similar thing for Ronan. It's very similar for Ronan. You know, when he became runner, that's what began. His specific mindset. He wanted to get revenge on the Wraith for destroying his home planet. But he couldn't because he had the tracking device in him, and they were following him wherever he went.
Right.
I mean, isn't that the whole reason why he decided to stay at Atlantis? Literally because
I mean, they told him if you help us, we'll remove the tracker so you can be free of this. That's the bargain
they had already done it.
Yeah.
They didn't give him the choice to join them. He just his whole the choice he was given was you can keep it and keep us prisoner or kill us, or you can have it, or we can remove it and you can do what you want.
Yeah, they take it out.
All they wanted was four.
There's a bed, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the two of them specifically, and that's what separates them from, because they do have a force of.
It's the drive and the will, leading them to a goal. That's in my view. That's what a warrior is. It's someone who's driven to an end goal. But they don't know what they're going to do at the end of it after if they succeed. I mean, we see that with the Jafar with Teal'c. He doesn't know what to do when the Ga'uld are defeated. He's like, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to live amongst my people, and I'm going to help build the government or whatever. But then, as soon as he gets the option, he rejoins SG-1.
Yeah.
Because why? Because Braytek makes his mind up for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we know any of the actors that wrote or directed episodes, aka Daniel Shanks.
Daniel Shanks.
Daniel Shanks. I can't get any name right today. Anything. Michael Shanks. I was about to mess up Samantha Carter and call Amanda Tapping Samantha Carter, which technically sure, but oh my god.
Well, at least it wasn't Amanda Carter.
I have had
Amanda Carter. Yes.
Sleep or lack thereof.
We'll just really get him confused.
Or Sam Tapping.
Cam Crichton.
I said 4 different names for him earlier. I was like
Anderson Richard Lee.
And my brain's about to have an aneurysm. I don't know what's going on anymore. Michael Shanks, Amanda Tapping, and a few of these other actors have definitely delved this deep because they've directed episodes and helped write episodes, do things like that. So they have to do these deep dives in characters and in the story and lore to even do that. And that was 15, 20 years ago at this point.
I do hope someone clipped all that.
Well, it will be soon. It will be there soon. So bad. That was so bad. There obviously we see. Now I can't. Just David Hewlett. I was about to say.
That's right. You got it right.
What was you going to do?
Hewlett,
David McKay or Rodney Hewlett?
David McKay. Shepard Flanagan. Like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Shepard Flanagan would be a good
Joe Shepard.
Joe Shepard. That's also just like, that's the widest name I've ever heard. There's like Mike Smith and then Joe Shepard. That's just, hey.
And that's why you come here, guys.
But yeah, there's been plenty of deep diving within there. Obviously, Teal'c, we can see what drives all these other characters in SG-1.
Mm-hmm.
Sam drives for the sake of science. Daniel drives for the sake of understanding things and the universe at large.
Right.
Jack is there.
Well, actually, originally Daniel's drive was to rescue his wife.
Yeah. Of course, that makes sense. Yeah. Yes,
originally.
Mm-hmm.
And which they do leave that.
Use his the.
Well, think about
anyway,
it.
He was supposed to use his knowledge to help them in their whatever they were doing.
After Sheree died, he was willing to leave. He packed up and everything, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was willing to go back to Abydos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sheree's ghost or whatever that was, like, convinced him not to do it. Yeah. Oh, the child, I guess, is what. To find the child is what drove him to continue. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are these different varying degrees of what makes Teal'c the main warrior out of it. Braytak ends up being more your Obi-Wan, or he would be just as viable as a character in that sense, but Teal'c finds more than just, he's fighting for more than just himself and his people. It becomes multiple peoples, all these different variables. I looked over and was like, what? Oh. So it's pretty easy to figure out why Teal'c is that main warrior. Ronan obviously has a lot of those same similarities, but why would Teyla not be your warrior when she's fighting for her people that has just been slaughtered and taken?
Right. I mean, I guess you could make the argument that she's a warrior too, to maybe a lesser degree. You know, she's not the warrior character, but she definitely has some of those characteristics.
I think
that Teyla has the skill to train a warrior, but I wouldn't say that she's technically a warrior. More of a capable fighter.
I think if you have the skill to train a warrior, you're a warrior. She might not be as physically imposing as the two that we're leaning towards right now, and that might be where that archetype does come from. And Stargate as a whole tends to like that archetype to become the main warrior, and that's okay. I mean, we obviously all love it. We've spent a lot of time with it over the last few years, a few decades, you know.
But a lot of it, to me, is Taylor's more of the spiritual side of everything. A spiritual leader for her people. She knows how to take care of herself, to defend her people.
Right. Well, she's a mother figure.
And then she becomes a mother.
Well, I think that's the biggest driving force that makes Teyla not the warrior of the show, is because she has... Don't remember her ever fighting anyone. She fights people from episode 1 throughout the whole show. Maybe not when she's pregnant.
She fights. She's constantly sparring with Ronan with the sticks.
She's got her Cali sticks or whatever they're called, and she's just knocking people out the whole show. But she does have.
What's her name? In the episode, was it the Storm, when the Jedi take over Atlantis? She fights. What's her name? The attractive blonde one.
Yeah. I remember. I don't remember her name, but I remember
she's betrothed. She's betrothed, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, at least she was. I'm guessing the person she was betrothed to died by that point. Yeah, Sora, that's the one. I like Sora. I wish she had come back actually and been part of the main thing.
She reminded me of like the proto character for who is the Lucian Alliance girl that Eli ends up really liking, and she becomes part of the ship.
Oh yeah. In universe, yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
sort of felt like the proto version of that. Like, hey, let's try this kind of this storyline just a little bit. Jin, thank you.
Yeah.
Aw, she was such a
I think Jin.
I know.
Jin was added for solely for Eli because I think they started feeling sorry for Eli's character. He was in love with Chloe. Chloe was in love with Matt.
And Chloe obviously was not ever going to go Eli. Sorry, Eli, but
yeah. Well, he knew it too, and I think he kind of accepted it, but he still was like in love with her.
He still had that.
It was good to like
he's
kind
still
of
he's still feeling it,
Yeah.
I mean,
that was
love,
complex.
Right?
I think Ronan does fall into that similar category with Teal'c, though, is where everybody else around him has other, and Teal'c does fall into a similar thing as Ronan in that sense, where everybody else around him have other varying levels of responsibility, and Teal'c doesn't at the time. By season 6, 7, 8, that responsibility of being a greater leader within the Jaffa populace becomes part of his character, but he is succinctly the warrior and comes back to do warrior things very frequently.
That's very,
that's
very succinct.
Yeah,
it's very succinct.
One
of the best lines in the opening of Atlantis. I'll be succinct. Well, that's very succinct. I like Shepard and O'Neill's combination when they were together. Especially in the helicopter ride where they're flying.
The few moments are always amazing. I love O'Neill and Cam whenever they're there, but
and the O'Neill
Flanagan, man, just
the O'Neill McKay.
It'd be nice if they can bring him back in the new, as like a, however they're gonna bring. I mean, you get the impression that legacy characters are gonna pop in once in a while, so it'd be cool to see.
I think all the actors would be so much fun just to hang out with as human beings and act and work alongside. I'd love to act and work alongside any and all of them. Joe Flanagan,
wouldn't
though,
you just be intimidated by stuff, by people
that
like
dude
that? Would you be intimidated by these people? You'd be like,
the what?
You'd be intimidated by them, wouldn't you? If you had to work alongside them, you'd be intimidated for at least the first few days.
For the first few days, maybe.
You're right, because you're trying to be as good an actor as you can, or whatever. Even if you're a crew member or something like that, you're still going to be anxious and.
Well, I'll give you a
myself if I make a mistake right now, that sort of thing.
I'll give you a secret. The second someone puts a $20 to $30 to $50 to $100,000 camera in front of your face and tells you to act, you're anxious the second anybody does that, no matter what's going on. If you only have to wave in a film,
only to start with until you get used to being in front of that camera.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily. You can just go do a deep dive on different actors talking about scenes they've done throughout the stuff. I guarantee you, Michael Shanks, before having to do the Daniel and Vala scene, that's my favorite scene to talk about between the two of them later in the series. That's one of the last episodes of the entirety of the show.
Could you imagine what it would have been like for Alexa Doig to be there watching them do that scene?
Well, she probably wasn't, hopefully, that day. But who knows?
Because I think by the end of the series, they're
actors. They understand what it is.
Michael and Alexa were a couple by that scene. By the end of that scene, weren't they?
But I mean, no matter how
they were married, I think
on scene.
At that
point, there's a level of anxiety that, hey, I have to get this right, or what does right even look like within this scene? Because whenever you're really thinking of it in an actor's point of view, you're not thinking about, well, this episode's doing this and they're doing that. They didn't even film the last 3 episodes in the right order. They're getting scene here. You're only thinking in that scene. And when you're thinking in scenes, that allows that anxiety to creep up within everything. No matter who. Anthony Hopkins talks about being nervous before filming a scene. And that's after Silence of the Lambs. That man should not be nervous about anything forever. He just has to go with his teeth and everybody else is nervous, But nonetheless, as a performer, it's something that it just inherently creeps up in you, and that's a good thing because it's almost that fight or flight mode right there. It's an actor choosing that in the moment, and it's typically in character if it's a good actor, and that's the hard part. Where no matter what, you're going to be anxious in this scene. How do I get the emotion that I need to out of that, and where can I use that to drive that emotionality for the scene? And it's a lot.
Yes, Stanley's they met on Andromeda, but they didn't get that close until Stargate.
Well, that makes sense. But yeah, okay. So obviously, Ronan.
Well, considering the fact that he appeared twice in Andromeda, that's it. So,
well, and don't forget, he is Hawkman in Smallville.
Hawkman. That's true. I liked Smallville. That was a good show.
My sister, I've only ever seen like half of it, but my sister watched it for the first time a couple years ago. Whenever my niece was still like a little baby, okay, well, now we got couch time at the end of the day. Not much couch time with the 4-year-old nowadays. But she was trying to watch Smallville, and she's 23. I was like, wait, how old is she right now? So she never saw it or anything, and I love her exploring those old shows because she didn't watch TV like my crazy self does, and finds Stargate or explores and does all that. So I'm glad she knows who Michael Shanks is, even if it's just Hawkman. But with what we did with Ronan and Teal'c right there, they both, where they are surrounded by people that can be warriors and arguably are in a lot of ways, everybody else has certain responsibilities that they have to go back and do. And of course, Teal'c and Ronan do get more responsibility as they go on. But at first, at least, all they're there to do is be there for Teal'c and, in Ronan's case, both justice. Why is Greer the warrior of SGU? I don't think he's fighting for justice and necessarily. I think the difference would be survival.
Right. I think he believes in keeping the structure and keeping order.
And by season 2, he learns that maybe structure maybe order is not the structure that we need in the way that I understand it from Greer's point of view, or Greer understands it in that sense. It's a mode of survival where he realizes by that second season, I've got to let my barriers down a little bit, and I've got to let people in. I don't want to. I really don't want to.
Yeah.
But I have to, and it's for the sake of survival, for the group as a whole, because he wants nothing more than to fight for everybody on that ship, whether he's arguing with them and telling them with a gun in their face, sit down or I'm going to kick you in the head or whatever, because he does so many things to his crew at times in the name of survival. He's like,
well, isn't Greer like a master sergeant or a gunnery sergeant or something?
I believe it's Master Sergeant Greer.
So he's an instructor anyway. He's an instructor level rank. So that's why he takes them all on the run around the ship.
Right. I think he learns that, where he's very brash and like you were saying, yelling and screaming at people or or getting in their face, being aggressive, whatever. I think he realized like, hey, especially, I got to, deal with my inner demons. I can do those things, but I got to approach it a different way. It's not about, like he was almost channeling his abusive father in some ways, I think maybe. And then, just figured out the right way to do things, given a chance to work through it rather than just being kicked out or disciplined or whatever.
I think that's exactly what goes on in his brain and what happens. And a lot of that is thanks to one, Dr. Linda Park. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I don't know the actress's name, and she didn't have enough time on that show. I really wish they would have gotten more. She would have been a pivotal
They were
character.
starting, I think, to build it because they were really starting to build Greer and her's relationship. And, there's that thing where she got stuck in the greenhouse when they were passing that star or whatever it was.
Show.
Yeah.
I did very much like that. She became the third scientist alongside Volker and Brody that were like, okay, we're gonna make everything work. Rush, Eli, y'all just go be pissy wherever you're gonna be pissy. Chloe, go do whatever weird alien thing you're doing. We're gonna make sure the ship's operable. You know.
So what, Chloe, just going right on the bloody walls. Will you just get out of the way?
Yeah.
Turns out Dr. Park's the only one that can read. I'm kidding, but that would be odd.
But she was blind when she went into stasis, right? She was still blind. Yeah. We didn't know if she was gonna. Yeah.
Tragic, but tragedy is what makes Greer go forward. It seems like, and the two of those characters would have been succinctly, for bringing that back, intertwined going forward, and that would have been really sweet to have seen.
For sure. But they would all they would all have to stop mourning over the fact that, the fact that one of their friends is laying there as a essentially a skeleton somewhere in the ship.
Maybe a few of them somewhere.
Hashtag justice for Eli.
Yeah. Well, actually, sorry.
Yeah. I think they hopefully in the new stuff they eventually get around to the Destiny. I don't think it'll be right off, but I think they will at some point at least do something. Even if it's just excited. Hey, the ship blew up. Okay, whatever.
Well, David Blue.
I don't know if they'll do that.
Well, I wouldn't.
A great actor posting more about it than David Blue since coming back, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But I don't feel like
I
interested
wouldn't put money
in
on it. Yeah. That's for sure.
I wouldn't put money on it either. But
survival.
I never found Eli
because the drones were chasing them, right? That's why they had to keep going. Yeah. So.
Well, that's how they changed the course. That's why they had to miss refueling, didn't they? That's why, and resupplying. So that's why they're going through the void. That's why. What was it supposed to be 5 years to cross the void?
I think
something
5
like
years.
That. Yeah.
3 years, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, and they didn't have enough oxygen or food, so
right. That's why everybody went.
Even Eli on his own probably wouldn't last very long.
Yeah, but he was going to try to fix the broken stasis pod, right, and get into it. That's yeah, okay. Yeah, he was going to try to fix the stasis pod, I think, or something.
Yes, he was going to try to.
Supposedly.
Just one short.
But in the final scene, when you think that he would be like getting his hands on the equipment, he's just standing there looking out into nothingness.
Yeah. Beautiful shot.
It's a beautiful shot.
Yeah. I like Eli could be such an interesting and cool character, and I just never found him to be that. Rush and Chloe.
Right. I get what they were trying to do with him, but I don't know if he quite. I mean, maybe in another season he would have figured it out, or the writers would have figured it out better. I don't know, but.
Well, he did better than that guy in Lost. That big guy who was, who was one of the Lost, and they're trying to survive on an island, and he'd never lost weight. Yeah. Whereas Eli,
I always thought that too.
He was losing weight during the series. His shirt was getting baggier every week, every few episodes. Right. And I don't know if that's just because they were putting a bigger one on him or not, but it certainly looked that way.
You are here.
Yeah.
Can you buy those T-shirts? I think you can.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched Lost. I know the actor you're talking about, and I do really like the actor. He's
a great actor. He was great. Right? He was actually really one of the best characters in the remake of Hawaii Five-0. He's really good.
That's right. Okay, I remember he was in that as well.
Yeah. Looks just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big beard.
Well, I'd say we did a pretty darn good deep dive today. We went off topic a little bit, but it was all within Stargate in the realm that we started.
We always do.
And I think starting off topic helped us.
I think we kept the warrior thread through everything, though. I think we did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, Eli's a warrior. He's a
Well, maybe not at the end.
Yeah.
Well, he's a warrior who knows. He always knows where he is.
Yes.
You are here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Well, next Stargate Outpost is 2 weeks from today. This coming Wednesday, of course, is the SciTrek mover, and it will be talking Starfleet Academy.
Mm-hmm.
That, of course, is Greg and Sarah.
Greg and
And it's going to be a good one. Y'all know to meet there. Melvin and I, tomorrow, will be back. For Creatures and Cryptids, we will be watch partying episode 4 of season 2 of Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. That'll be a lot of fun. We will let you know if it's 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or if it's midnight Pacific Standard Time, and what that looks like in the UK as well, because it's still a little dicey. We're trying to figure it out. If it's if you see a 6 p.m. stream, it's 6 p.m. If you see a midnight stream, it's midnight. So yeah, that'll be the case. We won't know
until we're live.
And it's gonna be.
Have your notifications turned on.
Have notifications.
Friday, we are pluribusing over on the Radical Wasteland podcast.
Yes. Our final episode about it, I think. Yeah.
And that will be fun. To mention Radical Wasteland on Friday, though, we are going to pitch it to Greg. I think Sarah and I said we are okay for it. I guess we do need to mention it to Jamie as well. We are aware that typically Gate World tends to stream at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Fridays. So about 3.5, 4 hours after we stream, or after we start our stream, about an hour and a half, 2 hours after our stream typically ends. If they're doing that at 10 a.m. and bringing Martin Garrow on to talk about the updates of what's going on with Stargate, we might all want to be there for that. So we're going to try to push an hour back on Friday. We might not end up being able to, just depending on Greg's schedule, but we're going to shoot for that, just to let y'all know. So hopefully 11:15 to 11:45, somewhere in that range on Friday. Pacific Standard Time, of course. Saturday, Melvin and I will be back again to discuss what the hell happened in the craziness of Monarch this week. And then Sunday, of course, Sci-Fi Sundays. And we'll probably go over the Oscars, go over the Chevron Awards, and anything that got wins, snubs, dubs, all these different things, of course, so on and so forth.
Yep.
So, we'll see you tomorrow.
And hopefully this time, for Creatures and Cryptids, we will not be freezing and flipping and disappearing and reappearing all the time.
Yeah. We're going to try to make sure the watch party's more... Not focused. We're very focused.
More synchronized.
Yeah,
it's up to technology on that part, so we got to keep our fingers crossed and keep y'all's fingers crossed too for us. Just real quick, just for the housekeeping speed run. See you tomorrow. Watch party for Monarch. Friday, we'll see you on Gate World's podcast with Martin Garrow, and then afterwards we'll see you here. We won't see you on there. We'll be in chat hanging out with you. But on Friday after that, we will see you on the Radical Wasteland podcast, discussing the final few episodes and the finale, of course, of Pluribus Season 1. So interesting, so good. Saturday, we'll be back, Melvin and I again, Creatures Cryptids, for discussing the episode we watched Thursday evening / Friday morning, or whatever the time
in case you didn't hear it the first time.
Yeah.
Sunday there.
Speed run.
And that is it. All that being said, where can people go find things for y'all? Melvin?
Yes.
So yeah, you can find me over at Quest RC. I'm gonna try and do stuff on Friday, but I can't do it. So hopefully next week I'll have something good going on there. You can also find me on Quest G30, where I will soon be doing a Farming Simulator 2025 series, which could be a good survival.
Nice. Sarah, a little space above and beyond. What you doing?
Yeah, I'm still plugging away at it. I know I need to get some stuff posted. I know. But I'm plugging away at it. I'm still. It takes a long time to plug through it and write all. Anyway, I'm still working on it. I'll get it soon. Working away.
Know where to go to get it whenever it's here.
Yep.
All of that being said, one more housekeeping. One more time for the week.
Misremembered the word. We now remember
with the housekeeping. Well, the other was laundry list, right?
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm distracting. Anyway,
I'm glad the housekeeping word is somehow found its way to stick. It lost itself for a bit there. Yeah. Again, all that being said, we had a good time talking about this with y'all. Hopefully, in the next, I guess, 2 weeks, excuse me. Yeah, because every other week, we will be talking because actually, it will be the first. Okay, I forget that there are only 4 Wednesdays. We were 1 day away from having 5 Wednesdays this month. That would have been funky, but the 25th of this month will be SciTrek Maneuver. The 1st of April, April Fool's Day, baby, is going to be Stargate Outpost.
Yeah,
that
we'll
one will be
those updates. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll also watch a fan film because it's the first
yes.
Wednesday of the month. So the 3rd Wednesday of April, let's talk scientists. Rodney Salmon Rush.
There are so many more scientists in Stargate.
Yeah, which
there's a lot of warriors too, but the main ones, the archetypes that we're focusing on,
right?
Which will be a fun discussion, specifically with Rodney being part of SG-1 first, jumping forward, and
what about background characters next time? Characters are always there, but you don't get much from them.
I think some variation of that. Anyway,
I think we've mentioned some stuff.
Did you do Silent? Then?
Like
you did an entire stream. You did an entire stream on Sergeant Siler, then, yeah.
As much as I love Siler, I don't think there's an hour and a half worth of discussion about Siler.
Yeah, Siler's like, I mean, I guess it's a funny, he's the what's the South Park character?
Yeah, he's kind of the Kenny that just falls off ladders over and over.
He gets electrocuted, he gets shot by his TX staff weapon and everything.
Yep.
Away from the face, big guy.
Away from the face.
It's kind of a funny bit, but
whilst he's still putting the protective glasses on, I might add.
Yeah.
Where's my face, big guy? Didn't even look at it.
It's a good time. Him and Walter are great background characters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
This is getting to be a long, drawn-out goodbye.
Yeah.
We go. Next Outpost, of course, we'll do the fan film, but the following one we'll do Rodney Salmon Rush and talk about the science in a similar way that we did today. Because I guess we haven't done background characters for a full episode, but we've done full tier lists of every character we can think of, and we end up discussing all the background characters.
Yeah.
All of that being said, for a final time, this has been your Stargate Outpost. Thank y'all for hanging with us. You know we love and appreciate y'all. Stay cosmic, SciTrekkers, and we will see you tomorrow in the next video, talking a little creatures and cryptids and Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.